Hey space fans, ever wonder what happened to Pluto? One minute, it's the ninth planet in our solar system, and the next, it's kicked out of the club. What gives? Let's take a trip through cosmic history and uncover the rise and fall of this fascinating little world. Our story begins way back in the late 19th century. Astronomers noticed some weird wobbles in the orbits of Uranus and Neptune. They figured something big must be out there, a mysterious planet X tugging on them with its gravity. The search was on. A wealthy Bostonian named Percival Lowell was obsessed with this idea. He built an entire observatory in Arizona dedicated to finding Planet X. Sadly, Lowell passed away before his dream could be realized, but the search continued. Fast forward to 1930. A young self-taught astronomer named Clyde Tombaugh was working at the Lowell Observatory. His job was tedious. He had to take pictures of the night sky, then meticulously compare them, looking for any tiny speck that moved. Imagine looking for a needle in an infinite haystack. But after a year of tireless searching, on February 18, 1930, he found it. A tiny dot moving ever so slightly against the background of stars. Planet X had been found. Now, what to name this new world? The news went global, and suggestions poured in. One of the most famous came from an 11-year-old girl in England named Venetia Burney. She was a fan of Roman mythology and suggested Pluto, the name for the god of the underworld. It seemed fitting for such a distant, dark, and cold world. Plus, the first two letters, PL, were the initials of Percival Lowell. It was perfect. And so, Pluto officially became the ninth planet in our solar system. For decades, Pluto was a mysterious, fuzzy dot. We knew it was small and very, very far away. Its orbit is also a bit of a rebel. While the other planets orbit in a relatively flat plane, Pluto's orbit is tilted at a steep 17-degree angle. It's also highly elliptical, meaning sometimes it swings closer to the Sun than Neptune. So for about 20 years of its 248-year orbit, Neptune is actually the most distant planet. Weird, right? But as our telescopes got better, our view of the outer solar system changed dramatically. In the 1990s and early 2000s, astronomers started discovering other objects out beyond Neptune, in a region we now call the Kuiper Belt, and some of these objects were pretty big. Then came the bombshell. In 2005, a team led by astronomer Mike Brown discovered an object named Eris, and guess what? Eris was even more massive than Pluto. This created a huge problem. If Pluto was a planet, then Eris had to be a planet too, right? And what about all the other big objects we were finding? Were we about to have 10, 11, maybe even 50 planets? The International Astronomical Union, the group in charge of naming celestial bodies, knew they had to step in and make a decision. So in 2006, they met and, after much debate, came up with the first official definition of a planet. A celestial body needs to do three things to be a planet. 1. It has to orbit the Sun. Pluto does that. 2. It needs to be massive enough for its own gravity to pull it into a round or nearly round shape. Pluto does that too. It's a sphere. But the third rule was the deal breaker. A planet must have cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. This means its gravity has to be dominant enough to sweep up or sling away any other large objects in its path. And this is where Pluto fails. It hangs out in the crowded Kuiper Belt with lots of other icy bodies, including some that are similar in size. It hasn't cleared its neighborhood. So, based on this new rule, Pluto was demoted. It was reclassified as a dwarf planet. The decision was, and still is, controversial. Many scientists and a lot of the public were not happy. You're breaking my very excellent mother's ninth pizza. Just doesn't have the same ring to it, you know? But the science had evolved. The story doesn't end there, though. In 2015, NASA's New Horizons spacecraft flew past Pluto, giving us our first ever close-up look, and what we saw was breathtaking. Pluto wasn't just a boring ice ball. It has towering mountains of water ice, vast plains of frozen nitrogen, a thin blue atmosphere, and even a giant, heart-shaped glacier. It's a complex, dynamic, and beautiful world. So, is Pluto a planet? The official answer is no. But does it matter what we call it? Pluto has taught us so much about the outer edges of our solar system. It sparked a debate that forced us to define our place in the cosmos and reminds us that science is always a journey of discovery. Planet or not, Pluto will always hold a special place in our hearts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey to the edge of our solar system, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more space adventures. See you next time.